But yeah, it's a case of getting the land so it, you know, for every field I'm making more money per year, and so that's a good thing. And eventually we might get to the point where I say I'm going to buy a field and we're going to start planting sugar beets, because per acre sugar beets is one of the best income producers. It takes an age to harvest and an age to ship the products to the market, but the profit you get from one of those fields far exceeds anything else. Soybeans per acre is actually quite poor. You generally make more for wheat or barley than you do from soybeans per acre, but soybeans doesn't take a lot, you know, doesn't produce many soybeans. They're just very valuable, and so the rate at which your harvester tank fills is much slower doing soybeans. So if you're playing a single player farm, soybeans are easy because you know you're harvesting, you're continuously harvesting for longer, and for the more voluminous crops, you know, you fill up the harvester much quicker with barley, and it takes more trips to the store with the barley, and sugar beets is another level of volume per acre. But Giants kind of rewards us by saying if you produce the crops that take you more time to harvest and ship, then we'll reward you with a better income per acre. So you make much more money if you're a sugar beet farmer than if you're a soybean farmer. It's just that you need a different seeder and you need different harvesters. Sugar beets aren't too bad. You can use the tractor mounted harvesting equipment and it's not totally painful. Potatoes I find are just horrible because the harvesters don't have capacity, the working width doesn't have capacity, and it's just obviously the self-propelled potato harvester much better. If I'm going to do potatoes, the self-propelled harvester is definitely the way to go. Unfortunately, it's about £500,000, so you know there's that. And I think there's a similar deal with cotton. You're looking at a $500,000 harvester just to get started. But it's a very valuable crop. It produces a high volume. It's not a very valuable crop, but it produces a high volume, which makes it valuable per acre. Sugar cane is a brilliant crop to do. It's not something we would grow on this map because we're in Ireland and sugar cane isn't really produced in Ireland. If I was playing a Brazilian map, I might consider sugarcane because that is a thing there. But sugarcane is high production, but it is high labour. So yeah, the harvester's not very big. The harvester is a pain in the butt to use. Quite. I have turned my speakers up so I can hear the buzzer, which may or may not be a good thing. Don't know how that's affecting what goes through the mic. Okay, I'm going to pull up to the end. We'll go grab the Deutz and the picker. Actually, you know what I think I might do? Definitely going to stop this here. think it might be a good idea. Let's fix this. No. All right. And again, I know in real world YouTube farmer that has one of these. Which is kind of cool. Anyway, I will finish off the edges here. I'll do it completely wrong. And then that's going to be an issue there. I wish the cedars were consistent with their planting texture. The problem we have here is at this end of the field we couldn't mulch because it's a brand new ploughed surface. So coming from the top and working your way down, you have the sort of the traditional just dirt texture, but the lower part of the field was mulched, and so you're ending up with a sort of a mulched or a previously mulched texture, which I might actually drag off of one of these rows. So the headland, it's easy to see where we've been on the headland. The rest of it was a little bit tricky. So this ground has been limed, so it's at perfect lime level. It was mulched, so we get a slight yield bonus, and we did spread slurry on it, so again we're going to get a good level of nitrogen here. And I think once I get to straight here, I will set the worker off and jump out and see how the field looks. Oh, we've actually got... I think we might have put too much. Okay, round about here, this is looking good. And this is kind of what I expected. A lot of the time, our nitrogen content is lower than what it needs to be. We need it to be a 180. But that means I can come back with a sprayer and just tidy it all up later. Okay, you do not need a mower. No, you didn't have a mower. I disconnected it. Where is the bale trailer? I put it away because I wasn't thinking straight. So yeah, what I said I was going to do here, we'll grab the bales that are in the field, and that will give me a better access to the whole crop windrows that currently have bales sitting on top of them. It'll also give me the opportunity to count how many we have fairly accurately. I do like this track. This is a really nice tractor. It's the Series 7 TTV Warrior edition of the Deutz. If we decide to supplement this tractor, I have no sort of brand loyalty to anything. It will be something round about 250 to 300 horsepower. But if I do decide to get rid of this tractor and replace it, a Series 8 TTV would be an acceptable replacement, because I do like this tractor. So having one on the farm, I kind of like to have one on the farm, but it's not an absolute requirement. I intentionally put the game volume low so that it's not... I can't monitor my voice versus the the game volume put out on the stream, not while I'm playing. So I try to err on keeping the game volume low, but obviously I have quite an advanced speaker system, even if it's not performing in 5.1, that has a separate volume control on the desk, so I can make the noise that I hear louder without adjusting the stream volume. I set that up when we used to do co-op games with Arthur, you know, the Friday sort of free-for-all, and so I put the game volume out through the speakers, I put the Discord volume out through the headphones, and that allows me to individually adjust the volume of everything. So I can adjust up the speaking volume, I can adjust up the game volume if it needs to be, and it just gives me, without having a mixer, it gives me a little bit more control over what sounds where, and then yeah. So I could individually control everything. If someone's voice was too quiet, you can use Discord to adjust their mic levels. I can easily adjust my mic levels, and then I can adjust the general volume on voice and game. Okay. We have a lot. Oh, we have way more than I thought we had. Good grief. Well, not that I'm really complaining, but this is a lot. 21. I need 3 more, so those 2 there plus another one will be fine. Plus another one towards the exit of the field, so we can just make it a nice sweep. Oh, actually we cleared most of the ones at the bottom, so possibly got close to two full trailers here. That'll be good. That will be good. But I've done this. The John Deere got stuck again. I think I can fix that. If I put that in, start it at the bottom next to the road, it will probably be better able to make the turns there. We've still got the southern edge of that field needs seeded, and there's going to be a little bit more on the diagonal on the west edge. But that's just a thing with our workers work or don't work or have issues. Okay. Yeah, see, it kind of got 2 rows and stuck. Now the other thing with that particular seeder is a direct seeder, so we don't have to cultivate when we're using it. Ooh, squeeze through there. Nice. And we will drop this right about here. I will run over to here. So let's back this up. We've still got 68% seed, so I'm kind of happy with how this has worked out. We've definitely got enough for the other field. I'm going to go over here. We'll plant this bottom edge, and then I'll start again from this corner for this western edge of the field. and that should be fine, I think. It'll need less nursing if we do this right. You can get this cedar in a double configuration. Again, when it's folded so there's basically two cedars one behind the other, which again means that you've got 4.5 meter wide piece of equipment that you may have an issue driving down the roads in England. Obviously in America or along the farm tracks that are on this map, it's not quite so much of an issue, but I am finding where we picked to start and how easy it is to get to other fields. This is probably not the best cedar we could have picked, but as I said, it's a direct drill, so I don't have to cultivate, which helps with the environmental score. It is capable of mounting a fertilizer tank, but as I've found with precision farming, to get the best environmental score, you want to fertilize after the crop has germinated, when there is green stuff growing, because the crop sensor needs to be able to see a crop. So at the moment, if I run over this, it doesn't matter if I've got crop sensors or not, you're not going to maximize your yield, because there's just nothing. There's nothing for the crop sensor to see. Okay, I need to line this up at like 0 degrees, and I think I've kind of blown it a bit, because okay, let me do this. The problem is, okay, I'm lining up on the edge of the field, and what I should be lining up on is the compass. So if I get that at about 0, and then turn the worker on, the worker should be able to turn around, and it'll only do a short stretch back, and then it'll turn around, and eventually it will fill most of this area, which is kind of what I'm looking for, and I'll just have to run down the edge of the field to complete it, so that's good. I'm not doing with you at the moment, I was doing with you, so we'll get that emptied. Engine still. I haven't figured out what makes the engine run and not run. I found it's rather annoying. Sometimes equipment will turn itself off when you tab to other equipment, like the harvester will just turn itself off when I tab to the grain cart. And it's sort of, why are you doing that? Okay, that's done. Oh, now that's done. I think what I can do, let's do an easy task here. I was planning to use the, actually I wasn't planning on anything because I didn't think this was readily fermented yet, but it appears we have whole crop silage. So, we will run along the top of here, and Long Hauler will do another health and safety on us. Four. And then we'll just pick this row up. So the nice thing about the extractor, it just leaves you a big long snake of silage, and if it's not in the silage bunker, you can just run along the row and just scoop it up with this thing, and it's all very convenient. Whereas with bale stacks, you don't really have that option. And for UK and European farms, I tend to prefer this style of bale handling unload, so you get a row of bales dropped off, because bale stackers tend to stack very high vertically and the barns tend to be a little bit short for that. There's a big problem I had in Lawfolds, because the barn was so low, and we had, I think we had this one, and we had a round one which was kind of the same, but this was always catching on the roof of the shed and just completely inappropriate for use on that type of farm. This, if I'd had a bale stacker like this, I would have been so much happier. So on going back to bale loaders, we do have this one and this one. These are both mods. This is a bale stacker and this is a bale, what I call a bale collector, and is in a similar style to this one in that it just shoves the bales off the back in a row rather than stacking them. So yes, there is that. I think this was more than 24 bales. I think it was about 26. Guess we'll find out. That's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Oh no, 22. Okay, whatever. Anyway, it's still enough. Or it's still a good amount. 7,500 litres per bale. I did figure it out at one point, but I'm hoping between these two loads we have more than enough whole crop for the cow feeding for the coming year, remembering that this year we had 60 cows and next year we're probably going to have somewhere near 120, so they're going to be eating more. So hopefully we won't snag the thing as we go past. We want this in the silage bin, so I want this as close as I can get it to the silage bin. And see if this will work. I then need to move the extractor back down to the beginning of that block. Come on, go in. Yes, 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 yes. Fly, my pretties. Oh, this kind of worked out. Looks like we managed it. Yeah. Okay. That was actually a moderate success, considering all the hassle we've had dropping stuff into that shed in the past. I didn't have to get out and throw bales around. So, turn that off for a minute. It's doing all the different tasks at the same time, which I probably shouldn't do, but anyway. Turn that way, it should straighten it up. I think I might have knocked it, which is why it was a little bit off. But we should just be able to... I can put another snake along here. Might need to make it two. And then once we've made these bales, I can put this back over at the silage bunker. I'm pretty sure that grass in front of us is going to be close to being done. Oh, that would be a yes. Okay, so back to... You're done. Okay, I don't think you are, but okay. So, as I said, I think there's going to be a bit of a mist section over here. Might be wider than the harvester, of course, the seeder, and we might need to turn the seeder on, of course. Right. And I'm not right against the edge, so I've just done what would be considered very bad in bowling. Because I've got a bit on the left side and a bit on the right side, and I can't get them both with one pass going back the other way. Anyway, that's done. Now, concerning weeds, I have heard that direct drills produce two growth stages of weeds in the first month. So we will end up with medium weeds on this field. I am not sure whether that is true, or whether we're gonna get a growth stage of weeds plus the weeds that we had will grow to medium. Because the bottom of this field had weeds in it, and obviously the top was just ploughed, so we'll never get weeds. At least it shouldn't. So in theory, we should not end up with any weeds where we had trees, where we ploughed the field earlier this month. And I'm going to need to do this from the cab because I can't see what I'm doing. Because trees. Okay, so how's this field look? I think we got everything, so that's good. I suppose we could review the growth map and see what it looks like. I think it looks like it's seeded fully, so that's good. We can turn that off, we can lift it up. So, quick run across to our other field. Whoa. And I can get this doing what I need it to do while I'm doing other things, which is always good for a laugh. Up to 12 o'clock now. Real time, 12 o'clock. So I think we're gonna get drop that, and go. And set the worker off. I don't know, for some reason that's showing nitrogen levels. Who knows? Okay, we can now get this back to the field. We'll collect the bales, we'll finish up baling the straggling bits of whole crop, and then gather any further bales that might be there. Seeding's underway. OCD farmer says that field to our right looks terrible, but it is what it is. I wear those for what was it? I wear those for logging, but I'm just a farmer, so I'm a farmer working solo, so I don't need all the reflective gear. Okay then, you're going to make this difficult. Although I should probably change my shirt because I think I've been wearing this one since March.